What's up everyone, Alvaro here from Alvaro Barrios Digital, and today I'm actually here with a very interesting topic that was inspired by a question that I was asked recently by someone else. So I was talking to an acquaintance of mine and we were talking about our respective businesses. She's also in the Facebook ads world, although in a slightly different capacity. And so she actually asked me, so what are the characteristics of your most successful clients? And it really was kind of like, wow, I had never even thought of considering that. Like, what actually are the characteristics of my most successful clients? Now, one thing I do want to quickly clarify is that success is obviously very relative, right? So there's no pure measurement of a success. So to keep it simple, when I say my most successful clients, I'm mostly referring to the ones that are able to generate the most revenue from their Facebook ads. So in other words, they have the biggest launches, or they're able to get a really good cost per purchase on some of their lower price products or anything like that. That's what I'm referring to in terms of success. Obviously, there are tons of other ways to measure success, but to keep it simple, I'm purely focusing on terms of, revenue generated from Facebook ads is how I'm actually measuring this. So, after she asked me this, I thought, I'm like, and then I realized that as I was kind of analyzing or thinking about all my different clients and thinking the ones that actually do generate the most revenue from Facebook ads, there actually were some very common characteristics amongst all of them. And I don't think that's a coincidence. That's the inspiration behind this video, which is what I want to share with you today. So amongst the most successful clients that I have when it comes to their Facebook ads revenue, there are 3 common characteristics that I want to share with you today. That way you can take them and hopefully implement them in your business and see your revenue grow also from Facebook ads. So characteristic number 1 is that they all have a podcast. Each and every single one has a podcast to go along with their business. So they have content going out every single week on that podcast, and it's actually the primary way a lot of people enter their world. So when people first stumble upon their websites or their brands and they're clicking around, they find the podcast, they start listening to a few episodes, and boom, they are hooked from that point on. And so it's not too surprising that works so well, because podcasts, right, you can create video content just like this, you can create text content, but podcasts are one of the few mediums of content that people can listen to on the go. Even though videos you can listen to on the go, I mean, usually people aren't in the car listening to these types of videos and stuff like that, but they are listening to podcasts, or are listening to podcasts when they're exercising, when they're doing chores around the home and stuff like that. So that's what enables podcasts to be such a great representation of your brand, because it's a medium of content that people can consume pretty much at any given time. And so obviously for all of these clients that I have, their audience is very engaged with their content and always keeping up with what they're saying and doing via their podcast. So that's characteristic number 1. Characteristic number 2 is that all the clients that are in this list are very consistent on social media, meaning they're posting organically, right? So it's not just about running Facebook ads. They're also active on their Instagram account. They're also active inside of their Facebook business pages, right? They're posting content there, if not on a daily basis, on, for sure on a weekly basis, at least 3, 4, 5 times a week, sometimes even more frequent than that. And also, that's not surprising either that there's kind of a correlation of being active on social media and finding success with Facebook ads, because we actually know for a fact that Facebook rewards activity to businesses, right? Because they want you to be an active participant on the platform. They don't just want you to be an advertiser that's only running ads. They want you to be social on a social platform. Crazy, right? So when you are actually very active on your Instagram business profile and your Facebook business profile as well, then you're actually going to get cheaper impressions with your ads, which leads to cheaper purchases or cheaper leads and stuff like that. So no surprise there that all these clients that I'm thinking about are very active on their social accounts. And then the final characteristic that they all have in common is that they actually have free Facebook groups that are very active and have a lot of people in there, right? So in these Facebook groups, it's kind of like almost like a medium between the podcast and the Facebook ads, and when they're doing launches, this, that, and the other. It's a place for the public to gather, the public that's interested in their brands. They can gather inside of these Facebook groups and not only interact with the brand itself, but also other people who are interested. And these are very vibrant communities where there's posts every single day, really great conversations, ideas being exchanged, this, that, and the other. And they do Facebook Lives in those groups as well to just keep them very active and interesting with new types of content and stuff like that. So these Facebook groups then become very good tools, so to speak, that once they go into launch mode or they start selling something, they can tap into that audience right away to get people into a launch, to enroll people into a program, to get people to buy a product, right? They have that audience right there just waiting essentially inside their Facebook group that they then get to utilize. So those are the three characteristics that, when I gave it some thought, are what my most successful clients all have in common. Now, is that to say that you cannot find success if you don't have all those three things in place? Absolutely not. I am not saying that at all, but I am saying that when you do have those elements in your business, I do believe that the probability of you finding more success with Facebook ads is for sure higher, because all those things, they work in correlation with your Facebook ads. So I know plenty of businesses that don't have podcasts, don't have Facebook groups, they're not super active on social and from an organic standpoint, and they still find success. But do I think they could be more successful if they implemented all those things? 100%. So it's about, finding what works for you and your business. And one thing I also do want to encourage you is that if you're all very excited because you want to implement these ideas, make sure you do one at a time. You don't want to do all three and just do each one very poorly. Make sure you do one. So let's say, for example, maybe you just start being active on social media. Then once you have that groove going, then you can start your podcasts, right? And then once you have that going, then you can launch your free Facebook community. Don't dive in all three. Otherwise, I think it'll be very difficult to get each one of those working all at the same time when you're going to be very overwhelmed and spread a little thin. So that's all I've got for you today. I hope you found that valuable and that you can actually take some of this information and start implementing it into your business so that you can find more success with Facebook ads. What's up, YouTube? If you found this video helpful and you want to see if there's a way for you and I to work together, head on over to alvarobarrios.com, fill out a form, schedule an appointment, and we'll see what the best situation is for you and I to move forward and work together. If you found this video helpful, please support the channel by hitting that like button and leave your comments below. Let me know what else you would like for me to cover, and I'll try to cover it as best as possible. And if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. That way you don't miss any new videos when we put them out. That's all I've got for you today. Take care and see you soon.